Alright, so welcome back to my third video on shading. In this project, we're going to be using some of our skills that we've learned and practiced, and we're going to develop this 3D shaded wiggles project, I like to call it. And we're going to use our pencil control. We're going to use our knowledge that we've learned previously to create this project. So in order for you to be successful with this project, it's just going to take you a few simple steps. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the underdrawing, as I like to call it. After we create the underdrawing, I'm going to show you guys how to do the shading, and we'll move forward from there. I'm looking forward to seeing how this project comes out for you guys. One of the big things about this particular project is it's just further developing your skill in shading. Shading is really important to help create images that are three-dimensional. And the project before this one, we shaded in flat values. In this project, we're not going to be using flat values. We're going to be using the pressure of our pencil to create values smoothly from dark to light, okay? So as long as you follow along, you're going to be very successful with this project. I'm going to show you how to get this drawing started and what it's going to take in order to be successful. So in order to begin this project, the first thing we want to do is our underdrawing. And to create that underdrawing, we are going to use some organic lines. Organic lines mean lines that are curved. Inorganic lines, which is like the project that we did the week before, are lines that are straight, okay? So we're going to use organic lines to create the underdrawing for the shading project. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take my pencil, and in the middle of my paper, I want to make an organic wave that almost looks like a long S, just like that, okay? Now that I've completed that first line, I've got to start building the rest of my lines, which are also organic lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to make some curvy, wobbly lines just like so. All right, I'm going to come here and I'm going to do the same, just like so. Make a third line. Just like that. Line number 4. Now I'm going to make a 5th line, getting towards the end. And make sure that when you're making these lines that they're loose, okay? You don't want them real wiggly, you want them to be pretty loose curves. All right, as you can see, I have these wavy, wobbly lines, organic lines going down the paper, and then I have the one going across the paper. So after you've done this, your next step is to create these C-like shapes. So what I mean by that is if the paper was turned the other way, it would look like I'm drawing a C. You could even say a U. And I'm going to space them. They don't have to be evenly spaced. Some of them can be larger than others. And now you can see it's starting to already even make a suggestion of something that looks three-dimensional, because you've got the bulge from those U's that you're drawing. On this side, I'm going to do the same thing, making those U's or those C's, however you see it. Those bulges that you draw and create, they don't have to line up or touch each other. End to end. I'm going to continue to make those shapes, that U or that C, whichever way you see it. And I'm going to just continuously fill up this side of my paper, okay? The underdrawing is pretty simple. And again, you know, if you do something wrong the first time, don't allow yourself to get frustrated. Don't ball this paper up, throw it. Take it and turn it around on the other side. And Try it again. And you know, through that experience, you'll learn and you'll get better. I'm going to continue to make these C or these U shapes until I fill up the whole drawing. Okay? And I'm just focusing on this half of the drawing first, okay? I don't want to skip around and try to go back and forth between sides, and you'll see why here very soon. All right, so now that I have this side completed, I'm going to do the same thing over on this side, except I'm going to flip that shape. So if I was drawing a U, then now I'm going to draw an upside down U. Or if I was drawing a C, then now I'm going to be drawing a C that's facing backwards. So I'm not going to go in the same direction on this side. I'm going to go in the different direction, the opposite direction. Fill it on up, okay? And you know, when you're done with this drawing, it's going to look very three-dimensional. Very three-dimensional. And it's really a practice. Although I'm calling it a project, really what we're doing here is we're practicing. We're getting better through practice. We're improving our shading skills. Okay? And what this will do is it'll set you up for when you start to do your own pieces of art. It's going to make you a better drawer. It's going to make you, you're going to be able to draw things more three-dimensionally. So let's say you want to be a comic book artist and you're drawing out your favorite comic book character, and you're working on their arms and their legs and you want the muscles to show. The shading skill is going to help you improve to where those muscles are going to look more realistic and more like they're popping out of the page. Okay, so these practices, they do help you improve as an artist, because when you practice something over and over again, you will improve. I'm ready to start my shading. One thing that I want to think about when I'm shading is I want to have a gradual change from dark to light values. Okay, I'm going to show you what I mean right here in the corner. I'm shading, going back and forth in those circular long motions, okay? Going from dark to light. I started at the outside of that shape, and as I go towards the inside, I get lighter and lighter, okay? Now here, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start dark, and then I'm gonna go lighter. I'm gonna shade lighter, use less pressure as I get towards the center of the paper. Not the paper, excuse me, but the center of the shape. This next shape, instead of going dark to light, I'm gonna go light to dark. So watch me. I start in the middle with the dark, and I work my way out, and I get lighter as I push outward, okay? It's gonna give it an illusion feel when you look at it, once you're done. And I want it to be as smooth as possible, okay? So I wanna take my time, I don't wanna rush. Just like so, all right? There we go. So I'm gonna move to my next shape, and I'm gonna go back to the original pattern, dark on the outside, light on the inside, just like so. And some of you may be thinking, couldn't he just use a shading stump or maybe a paper towel and blend it together and make this drawing much faster? Yes, I can. However, here's why I'm not doing it. One, because I'm learning pencil control. I'm learning how to shade better on my own without using a tool. I'm improving my skills shading. Because think about it, if I'm drawing a comic book character and I'm drawing in a small little space on a piece of paper, and I need to represent the detail in his arms, then I'm gonna have to use a pencil to do that and to get into those tight corners. So we're not gonna use any shading stumps, we're not gonna use any paper, any paper towels to blend. We're going to use our hands and we're going to improve our skills shading. So now I'm going dark in the center, light to the outside. And what happens after you continue going, your lead gets softer on your pencil, and with the lead getting softer on your pencil, it actually makes it easier for you to shade, and it's easier for you to make those smooth transitions. Let's say I was using a mechanical pencil that just has one point. It could be very difficult for me to get these soft transitions from dark to light, and that's what we want to focus on. I'm going to do a whole row with you guys just so that you can see the rhythm and the process. This may take you a little bit longer time than what it takes me. Again, I've been shading and practicing for years. So, you know, what could take me 10 minutes may take you 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and that's okay. If it takes you longer, that's fine. You want to break it up, take your time, do about 30 minutes a day for a week, and then you'll have yourself a nice completed project at the end of the week. So, you know, don't feel like you got to rush into it. Take your time, do it right, and when you're done, you'll be surprised with the results and you'll be happy. And you will also have improved as an artist. Now, these foundational skills that we're working on, they're gonna make us better artists. And then when it comes time for us to express ourselves and to create our own artwork, we're gonna have more tools to do that. Because the more you learn, the more that you're able to do, so you're gonna express yourself better. It's almost like if you were writing a story. Well, if you didn't know how to read and write, it would be difficult to write that story, right? You could tell somebody the story. You won't be able to write it and read it. So learn these foundational skills and you're going to improve. You can't learn algebra if you don't learn how to subtract, if you don't learn how to add, if you don't know how to divide, if you don't know how to multiply. Same thing with art. There's foundational skills that you can learn that will make you better. So as you guys can see, I'm nearing the end of this row and the paper is starting to have a three-dimensional look to it, okay? And now that I've gotten towards the end, I can continue going forward. I can also come in and I can smooth out a little bit more in this row and make things look a little bit better. So I can go back in and say, okay, I want to make it a little bit smoother. Let me just use my pencil very lightly and just go in and smooth everything out a little bit more. It's always good to go over things, if you can, a second time. It's almost like checking your work, you know? Check it, make sure it's good and to your satisfaction, and then move on. All right? So we got a good start here. You know, we tackled the first row, and now we are ready to move forward with completing this project. Remember, I want you to take your time. I want you to be patient. I don't want you to rush and scribble. I want you to do your best. Once you create that underdrawing, after that, each day, take about 30 minutes and just get a couple rows done. Do 2 rows first day, 2 rows the second day, 2 rows third day, and then maybe by the last day, you might have 1 or 2 rows left to complete. I don't want to see you erasing on this project because we're learning how to control our pencils. And in order to do that, we need to stay away from that eraser. All right? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen every once in a while. Push on and do your best. You know, I'm really excited to see how your projects look in the end. All right, so again, here's the finished project. This is what the drawing should look like when it's done. We started off using those organic lines to create the underdrawing. After we created that underdrawing, we started shading dark to light, dark in the center of the shape to light, and then on the next one, we went dark on the outside of the shape to light, okay? And that's gonna give it that three-dimensional, almost illusion quality. I'm excited that you guys are going to do a great job on this project. Keep up the good work, keep improving, and I'll see you soon.